So we've used web fonts once before to include Font Awesome. Google offers a bunch for free on Google Fonts. Tons and tons of them. Really nice. Some of them are goofy, but a lot of them are kind of neat. And in many cases, they just look a little more thoughtful than some of the default fonts. Helvetica Neue is actually a pretty nice font, but it's also not installed on everyone's machine. This means they'll actually get it from the internet, so you can count on them having this font. Now, don't get too crazy adding these as a general rule, because they do use up bandwidth to load, and if you're on mobile devices with poor connections, that can slow things down quite a bit. But having said that, we're not going to worry about it right this minute. Let's pick one. You can pick a different one if you like. I'm going to go with, I'm going to search because I know the name of it, Abril Fat Face. They named it after me. All right, so it tells us a couple of things. To embed your selected fonts into a web page, copy this code into the head of your HTML document using a link tag. We're just including a style sheet. And then use this rule in CSS, or this property. Font family quoted Abril Fat Face. Go to customize. Doesn't make much difference for this font, but some of them have lots of different weights, like bold, extra bold, light. In addition to regular, this one only has regular, so that's not really an issue. Notice it tells us load time fast. If we say add some of the extended characters, it's still pretty fast. So we don't need them though. Now, instead of doing a link tag, we could also just include this in our style sheet, this import statement. Let's try that. That's pretty small. So at the very top of our style sheet, let's paste that in. Import URL, and then the URL that Google Fonts gave us. And this thing is an H2, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, H2. So let's just add a rule here. H2, font family, Abril Fat Face. And it suggests that you have a fallback of cursive. So oftentimes you'll see something like, Helvetica, Arial, sans serif. So sans serif is just a generic type of font. Arial is installed on almost everything because Microsoft bundles it with everything. Helvetica is a default on Macs. Odds are if you have both Helvetica and Arial on your machine, it's Helvetica you want because Arial is a copy of Helvetica. So use that if you have it installed. If you don't, fall back to Arial. If you don't, well, fall back to any old sans serif font. Abril Fat Face, it's suggesting that you fall back to cursive because it's kind of a decorative font. But it's also a big fat serif font. So serif would also be decent if you want it to look kind of like that. Whatever. Point is now, oh, look at that. Now I think that particular one might look nicer if it were all lowercase. I don't want to change my markup though. So I'm going to put a rule in here. Text transform controls capitalization effects of an element's text. And I'm going to say lowercase. Refresh. Now it's all lowercase despite the fact that I did not change my markup. We can see right here there's still a capital M. Other values we have there, we have, as you might guess, uppercase. we have capitalize, which capitalizes the first letter, whether it was capitalized or not. I'm going to keep my lowercase rule in there. I like it. Specify typeface for H2.